What's up everyone, we're going to be going through the best NBA player props on PrizePicks today. Now don't forget to like this video as it does let me know to continue to give you free picks every day. So make sure to like this video clicking that button down below. And if we get 500 likes on this video, I will do another video for tomorrow. Now I did want to show you the results of yesterday's picks from my exclusive Discord group. And as you guys see, we actually got 19 picks correct, which is absolutely insane. So we're on a huge hot streak, but if you want to get 19 picks right like me, win more bets and receive the best picks from some of the best bettors in the world for less than a cup of coffee, you can access the exclusive Discord and meet some of the best sport bettors in the game by joining my Patreon, should be linked down below in the description. Once you join, you'll have complete access to the Discord and can start winning more bets today. So make sure to join my Patreon using the link in the description. And here's one of our members who just signed up and won himself $1,650 just yesterday. Another member who won $410 for the 7th day in a row since joining my Discord. So guys, if you want to win big money like our members, the link will be in the description, so go join the Patreon to have access to the Discord group, and I will be continuing to upload every single day on this channel the best bets and props, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss my daily uploads. So quick shout out to F35 Lightning 35 who said, when your next list of picks come out, I'm gonna drop a simple 2-man just to be safe. So shouts out to him, and definitely use this video to get those picks, but shouts out to him. And if you do want to win a shout out in the next video, all you have to do is comment down below on this video and like it, and you can be in the running to win a shout out in the next one. Alright, so let's get straight into the first pick. When it comes to these picks, I'm not saying to chuck all of them into a parlay and hope for the best. Pick and choose the ones that you like and the ones that work best for you. So the first pick we're talking about is a Zion Williamson pick, and this one is for block shots for 0.5, and this one actually is for less. Now when we look at Zion Williamson, we actually have seen him go in the under in 2 out of the last 5 games. Now looking at those 5 games, you see on November 20th faced off against Denver, had 1 block shot there. Then November 22nd faced off against Dallas, had 0 block shots. Then November 25th faced off against Chicago, had 1 block shot. November 27th faced off against Memphis, had 2 block shots. And then November 30th against Golden State Warriors, had 0 block shots there. So it's definitely been a very interesting game for Zion Williamson. As we do know, Zion Williamson has had some pretty good games. Other games hasn't really done too well on blocking shots, and his average over the last 5 is 0.80. Now when it comes to the New Orleans Pelicans, we do know they have themselves a very good matchup against the actual Minnesota Timberwolves, so it is going to be an exciting game between both of these teams for sure. Now looking at where both of these teams do lie, starting off with New Orleans Pelicans, we see that they rank 15th when it comes to the Western Conference. So they've actually done a fantastic job there. And we've also seen that they have a record of 3 wins and 18 losses. That's a 14.3% win percentage there, and are 2-9 from home, 1-9 from away, and are currently on a 3-game losing streak. So very interesting to see coming into this matchup. Obviously, Pelicans haven't had the greatest start to the season, but they are hoping and looking to change that around. Now they face off against Minnesota Timberwolves, which is definitely going to be a great matchup because Minnesota do rank 6th in the Western Conference, and they have a record of 12 wins and 8 losses. So they have a 60% win percentage there. They're also 7-3 from home, 5-5 from away, and are currently on a 2-game win streak. So we have seen between both of these teams there is a bit of a discrepancy when it comes to ranking, so you definitely have to take that into consideration. But looking at this matchup, this is based off actual block shots, which is for Zion, so this is for player props. But looking at actually blocks allowed for Minnesota Timberwolves, we do see that they rank 7th. So Minnesota don't really allow a lot of block shots, and that's a big reason why we do like the under for this situation here. Now when it comes to Minnesota, they do like to play inside, they like to play outside as well, and their offense is very structured. And for a team like New Orleans Pelicans, especially Zion Williamson to be specific, we don't expect Zion to have that defensive sort of authority coming into this game. Now Zion is going to face off against some big players in this Timberwolves team, so it's definitely going to be taken into consideration there. And coming into this matchup, we do still very much like the under for it. Now when we look at Zion's last 5 games, he had a game against Memphis where he had 2 block shots, where Memphis do allow a lot of block shots, so that was a big game for him. It's now brought this
this line a little bit too high, that now I do believe there's a lot more value actually to go on the under. So for that reason, I definitely would keep an eye out for the under for this one for someone like Zion Williamson. We see a lot of value there to go on the under, especially due to the fact that when we look at what the bookies are saying, bookies also have him favored for the under as well. So definitely keep an eye out for Zion for that one. So Zion Williamson, 0.5 block shots for less, I think is a fantastic pick. Now getting into the next one, we're actually going to be talking about Jordan Clarkson. So Jordan Clarkson, great player as we all know. Now this one is for 3-pointers made for 1.5, and this one actually is for less. Now looking at Jordan Clarkson, we have actually seen him go on the under in 3 out of the last 5 games. Now this one is a big, kind of last 5 games, because we saw November 23rd against Orlando had 3 3-pointers made, so he did a great job there. Then November 25th faced off against the Brooklyn Nets, actually had 0 3-pointers made there. November 27th faced off against Charlotte Hornets, had 0 3-pointers made there. And then 0 3-pointers made against Milwaukee Bucks on November 29th. Then December 1st faced off against Toronto Raptors and had 3 3-pointers made there. So we do see a massive swing. You know, obviously he had some games where he absolutely beat the line. Other games got absolutely no 3-pointers made. There's definitely some big discrepancy there, but his average over the last 5 has leveled out to 1.2, which is significantly below this line. Now, looking at Jordan Clarkson, he does play for the New York Knicks, and the New York Knicks have themselves a very good matchup against the Boston Celtics. So it is going to be an exciting matchup between both of these teams. We do know where both these teams do actually lie. Now, both are in the Eastern Conference, but starting off with the Knicks come in at the 2nd spot in the actual Eastern Conference. So they've been able to get a couple of wins under their belt, and they're actually currently on a 4-game win streak. So they have bumped up to number 2 in the Eastern Conference. They have a record of 13 wins, 6 losses, a 68.4% win percentage there, and also 10-1 from home, 3-5 from away, and are currently on a 4-game win streak. So very interesting to see there. Now they face off against none other than Boston Celtics, and looking at Boston Celtics, Boston come in at the 8th spot in the Eastern Conference. They have a record of 11 wins and 9 losses. That's a 55% win percentage there. And on top of that, they are also 6-4 from home, 5-5 from away, and are currently on a 1-game win streak. So now looking at Boston and where they do rank defensively, you know, looking at or starting off with 3-point percentage allowed, we do see that the Boston Celtics do actually rank, you know, surprisingly a little bit lower in this category, as they do rank 18th. Now, 3-point attempts allowed, we see that the Boston Celtics also do rank 18th there. And then 3-point make allowed, or 3 points made allowed, we do see that the Celtics also rank in a similar situation, as they rank 19th. So they rank pretty, I would say, lowish mid-tier when it comes to 3-point percentage allowed, 3-point makes allowed, 3-point attempts allowed. So why do we like the under for this situation? And that's because when we look on a per position basis, we actually do see a very different story. Now, Boston Celtics do a fantastic job at restricting 3-point attempts, 3-point makes, and 3-point percentage to the guard position, which is what Jordan Clarkson is. And we definitely see that having a huge effect coming into this game for sure. Now, for someone like Jordan Clarkson as well, although he has had some outlier games like against Toronto, like against Orlando, overall, we have actually seen him go on the under quite significantly. And that's why coming into this matchup, we do like the under, as we are expecting Jordan Clarkson, you know, to continue having his low usage rate, as we do believe those outlier games has just pushed this line a little bit too high, and now there's a lot more value actually to go on the under. Now, you do also have to realize when it comes to New York Knicks, Clarkson isn't really the main 3-point shooter or the main scorer for this Knicks team, and Knicks do already have a lot of big scorers in this roster. Clarkson's role is definitely, I would say, that kind of second string or even third string when it comes to scoring. So he's definitely far down the line when it comes to having a high usage rate in scoring. And although he does get points on the board, I think overall coming into this matchup against Boston, where Boston are also a very slow-paced team, and as we've always mentioned, slow-paced type games lead to less volume and less opportunity. And for someone like Clarkson, who doesn't have the highest usage rate, we are expecting his opportunities to be taken away first. So for that reason, I do very much like the under for someone like Jordan Clarkson coming into this game. The Jordan Clarkson 1.5 3-pointers made for less, I think is a fantastic pick. Now, getting into the next one, we're actually going to be talking about none other than Denny Avdija. Now, Denny, as we all know, great player for none other than the Portland Trail Blazers. And this one is for rebounds and assists. So this one's actually a combo one for 14.5, and this one actually is for less. Now, looking at Denny, we've actually seen him go on the under in 3 out of the last 5 games. Looking at those 5, we see November 22nd, faced off against Golden State Warriors, had 19 rebounds and assists there. November 24th, faced off against OKC, had 6 rebounds and assists, then 9 rebounds and assists against Milwaukee on November 25th. November 27th, faced off against San Antonio Spurs, had 14 rebounds and assists there, and then Oklahoma City Thunder had 29 rebounds and assists on December 1st. So it's definitely been a very, very interesting time for Denny Avdija because the Portland Trail Blazers find themselves in a very good matchup against the Toronto Raptors. Now, looking at both of these teams and where they both rank, starting off with Portland Trail Blazers, Portland have gotten off to a decent start, but they have lost a couple because they currently rank 10th in the Western Conference. Not only do they rank 10th in the Western Conference, but they also have a record of 8 wins and 12 losses. So that's a 40% win percentage there. They're 3-6 from home, 5-6 from away, and are currently on a 2-game losing streak. So very, very interesting to see there. Now, when it comes to Portland Trail Blazers, as I mentioned, they face off against Toronto. And looking at Toronto are in a somewhat of a different situation because Toronto have actually gotten off to a great start, actually coming in at the 4th spot in the Eastern Conference. So it's definitely been very, very interesting for them. Now, looking at this matchup, we do also know Toronto not only ranked 4th, but they also have a record of 14 wins, 7 losses, a 66.7% win percentage there. And on top of that, they all are also 7-2 from home, 7-5 from away, and are currently on a 2-game losing streak. So very, very interesting to see. Now, coming into this matchup, we do also know, looking at Toronto defensively, that is definitely where we're going to see a lot more of it, because looking at Toronto Raptors, we do see when it comes to assists allowed, Raptors rank 9th, and then when it comes to rebounds allowed, Raptors do rank 13th. So they rank very, very high, rank in the top 10 in assists, and also rank in the top 15 when it comes to rebounds. And there's a reason why Raptors do or are currently ranked 4th in the Eastern Conference. They're a great defensive team, and we are expecting that similar sort of situation coming into this next game for sure. So for someone like Denny Avdija, I do very much like the under for this situation here. When we look at his matchup against Toronto, we do also know when it comes to, Denny, he hasn't really had that high of a usage rate as of lately in both of these departments. He is mainly a scorer for this team, and as you also see, we have had games where he has had 29 rebounds and assists against OKC. We see those games as being outliers, and similar to the other picks, it's definitely just brought this line a little bit too high, that now there's a lot more value actually to go on the under. So I definitely would keep an eye out for the under for this one for someone like Denny. And when we look at this matchup between Portland and Toronto, we are expecting Toronto to put a lot of the defensive pressure on Denny and try to restrict him as much as they can. Because as you know, when it comes to this Portland team, Denny is definitely one of the main guys. And Toronto, the way they like to play defense is restricting, star players from other teams as much as they can. So coming into this matchup, we do very, very much like the under for this one. And when we look at what the bookies are saying, bookies also have him favored for the under as well. So Denny Avdija, 14.5 rebounds and assists for less, I think is a fantastic pick.
So as you all know, I do want to get these picks out to you as soon as possible, but PrizePicks is delayed with some of their lines. So here are a couple of players you should definitely watch out for when their lines drop. So the first player we're going to be talking about is none other than Moses Moody. So as you all know, Moses Moody, great player for none other than the Golden State Warriors, and he has done a fantastic job so far this season because we've actually seen him average 12.2 points. On top of that, he's also averaged 3.4 rebounds, 1.4 assists, and has also had a 40.3 field goal percentage. So he's definitely done a fantastic job there. Now, when we look at someone like Moses Moody, we also do see that he actually does rank 106 when it came to points, 150th plus when it came to rebounds, 150th plus when it came to assists. So very, very interesting. saying, when it comes to Moody, he has definitely played a massive role for this team, but we do know that they have themselves a really, really good matchup because Moses Moody and the Golden State Warriors have themselves a matchup against a very, very good team, and that being Oklahoma City Thunder. So it is definitely going to be an exciting game for sure. Now, looking at where both these teams do lie, starting off with actually, the Golden State Warriors. We do see Golden State Warriors come in at the 8th spot in the Western Conference. So they've done a fantastic job so far this season. Now, they haven't actually lived up to the hype, as a lot of people thought this team would be, in the top 3, in the top 4. However, you do have to realize Western Conference is very stacked. So they are still in the playoff picture, which is not bad. Now, they currently rank, 8th as we've mentioned, but they have a record of 11 wins and 10 losses. So that's a 52.4% win percentage there. They're 7-2 from home, 4-8 from away, and are currently on a 1-game win streak. So very, very interesting for the Golden State Warriors. They are trying their best to see if they are able to, bring this team back into a position where they are in that top 3. But looking at their matchup, they face off against OKC, where OKC on the other side have done a fantastic job because they actually have the #1 record in the NBA with a record of 20 wins and 1 loss. Now, not only do they have the #1 record in, the Western Conference, but also in the whole of the NBA as well. So it's definitely evident there. But looking at this matchup, we do also know that Thunder have a record that have them a 95.2% win percentage there, 10-0 from home, 10-1 from away, and are currently on a 12-game win streak. So they currently have the longest win streak out of any of these teams so far. They've done a great job there. Now, when it comes to actually, this matchup between both of these teams, we do see that Oklahoma City Thunder rank first when it comes to points allowed, also second when it comes to assists allowed, and then when it comes to rebounds allowed, we also see that they rank 14th. So we do see that Moses Moody and the Golden State Warriors have actually done, a fantastic job so far this season. And when we look at the Thunder, they are a great defensive team. Now, they rank a little bit lower in rebounds. However, coming into this matchup, we do like the under for Moses Moody in the points and assist department. Now, this is very evident because when we look at actually Moses Moody and the Golden State Warriors, they run Moody at that guard position, and OKC also do a fantastic job at restricting points and assists to the guard position as well. Now, Thunder, we do know, focus very much on defense. That is definitely their identity as a team. They are one of the best defensive teams out there, and we are expecting them to put that pressure on someone like Moody coming into this game. Now, looking at Moses over the last 5 games, we saw on the 20th faced off against Miami, had a 110-96 loss there with actually 9 points, 4 assists, 6 rebounds in that matchup. Then on the 22nd faced off against Portland, had a 127-123 loss with 10 points, 1 assist, 2 rebounds. After that, on the 25th faced off against Utah, had a 134-117 win with 15 points, 0 assists, 6 rebounds. Then on the 27th, faced off against Houston, had a 104-100 loss with 9 points, 1 assist, 7 rebounds. And then on the 30th, faced off against the New Orleans Pelicans, had a 104-96 win with 11 points, 0 assists, and 3 rebounds there. So we have definitely seen Moody do a great job over the last couple of games, but we also have seen that his usage rate, especially against tougher defensive teams, has definitely struggled. Moody, I wouldn't say is the main player for this, Golden State Warriors team, and we are expecting other players in this roster to have a little bit more usage rate than him coming into this matchup, especially against a tough defensive team here. So for that reason, definitely keep an eye out for the under for this one. So for that reason, keep an eye out for the under, especially for his points and assist line. If it is too close to his averages, or if the line is too close to his averages, then definitely look to go on the under there. Now, getting into the next player, we're going to be talking about VJ Edgecombe. So, VJ, great player for none other than Philadelphia 76ers. Now, he has done a fantastic job so far this season, averaging 15.1 points, 5.8 rebounds, 4.1 assists, and has also had a 41% field goal percentage. So, he's definitely done a fantastic job there for his Philadelphia 76ers team, and this is definitely his rookie season. So, he's putting up a really good, campaign for sure.
But coming into this matchup, we do also know that VJ Edgecombe and the Philadelphia 76ers have themselves a great matchup against the Washington Wizards. Now, it is definitely going to be an exciting game for sure, but looking at this matchup, we do also know that VJ Edgecombe and the Philadelphia 76ers face off against a Wizards team that when we look at both of these teams ranking wise, starting off with 76ers come in at the 9th spot in the Eastern Conference. Now they have a record of 10 wins and 9 losses, and on top of that they also are 52, they have a 52.6% win percentage there. On top of that, 5-6 from home, 5-3 from away, and are currently on a 1-game losing streak. So very interesting to see there. Now coming into this matchup, we do also know that when it comes to the 76ers, they face off against a Washington Wizards team that do actually rank 15th in the Eastern Conference. Now they have a record of 3 wins and 16 losses. That's a 15.8% win percentage there. 2-6 from home, 1-10 from away, and are currently on a 1-game win streak. So very, very interesting to see. Now obviously coming into this matchup, we do also know that, you know, Wizards defensively aren't really the best team, unfortunately. Wizards come in when it comes to points allowed, they rank 30th. Now looking at assists allowed, we also do see that the Wizards do rank pretty poor, as they rank 29th, and then rebounds allowed, they do rank 30th. So they definitely do struggle quite a lot when it comes to actually, you know, defense in general. Offense they also struggle at, but that has always been, you know, the Washington Wizards for sure. But coming into this matchup, we do also know that looking at the Wizards, not only do they rank poorly at restricting points, rebounds, and assists, but we also see that they also are very, very poor at restricting points, rebounds, and assists to the guard position. So we definitely are expecting someone of VJ Edgecombe's caliber to be able to take advantage of this and go on the over here. Now, when it comes to VJ, he definitely has a really, really good usage rate for this team, which I think is fantastic. And we are expecting that to have a huge effect coming into this game. Now, when we look at someone like VJ Edgecombe, we do also know that he not only has he done a fantastic job time and time again, but we do also know when it comes to VJ that he's also, you know, been a high usage rate player and has been on quite a little bit of a great streak as of lately. Now, looking at those last 5 games, we saw on the 15th faced off against Detroit, had a 114-105 loss with 18 points, 3 assists, 7 rebounds there. Then on the 18th, faced off against the Clippers, had a 110-108 win with 14 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds. Then on the 20th, faced off against Toronto, had a 121-112 loss with 21 points, 4 assists, 6 rebounds in that matchup. Then on the 21st, faced off against Milwaukee, had a 123-114 overtime win with actually 12 points, 3 assists, 10 rebounds there. And then also on the 1st, faced off against Atlanta, had a 142-134 loss with 7 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds there. So very, very interesting to see. Now looking at that, we have definitely seen VJ Edgecombe do a fantastic job, you know, over the last couple of games. But we do also know that VJ has remained, his usage rate remaining very high throughout these games as well. So the consistency is definitely there. Now he did struggle a little bit in that most recent game against Atlanta, but we should see him be able to bounce back. And he also saw a restriction in his minutes in that matchup as well. So when we see, you know, VJ get around that 35 plus minutes per game, we definitely see his usage rate remain very strong. And that's what we are expecting into an easy matchup against the Washington Wizards as well. So for that reason, definitely keep an eye out for the over for VJ. Now I don't think you need to focus on any line in particular. I do believe he has a capability to go on the over in all 3 categories, so definitely keep an eye out there. Now getting into the next player, we're going to be talking about Anfernee Simons. So Anfernee Simons, great player for the Boston Celtics.
He's actually averaged 13.7 points, 2.2 rebounds, 2.6 assists, has also had a 44.7% field goal percentage. So he's definitely done a fantastic job there. Now, when we look at, you know, the Boston Celtics, we do know Anfernee Simons and the Boston Celtics, they face off, you know, against a pretty tough team, which is the New York Knicks. So it is definitely going to be a great matchup there. But looking at his averages real quickly, 13.7 points, 2.2 rebounds, 2.6 assists, and a 44.7% field goal percentage. But he does actually rank 80th in points, 150th plus in rebounds, 110th when it comes to assists, and then 110th when it comes to field goal percentage as well. So Anfernee Simons has definitely done a great job for this Boston Celtics team. The Celtics team has definitely struggled just a little bit, but they are or have been trying to claw their way back into a playoff picture. Now, looking at their matchup, the New York Knicks, and looking at where both these teams do rank, Celtics have been able to put it together because now they currently sit 8th in the Eastern Conference. Now, they have a record of 11 wins and 9 losses. That's a 55% win percentage there. And on top of that, they are 6-4 from home, 5-5 from away, and are currently on a 1-game win streak. So very interesting to see there. Now, when it comes to the Celtics, they face off against none other than actually the New York Knicks, where the New York Knicks do rank 2nd in the Eastern Conference and have a record of 13 wins and 6 losses, a 68.4% win percentage there. They're also 10-1 from home, 3-5 from away, and are currently on a 4-game win streak. So very, very interesting to see. Now, coming into this matchup, we do also know that the Boston Celtics find themselves in a very good matchup against, a Knicks team that when we look at Knicks defensively, we do actually see that Knicks rank when it comes to points allowed. They do actually rank pretty high, as they also rank 5th. And then looking at assists allowed, we see that Knicks do also, rank pretty decent as well. They rank 10th, so they rank in the top 10 there. And then they rank 6th when it comes to rebounds allowed. So they've actually done a fantastic job at, restricting points, rebounds, and assists time and time again. And coming into this matchup, we do very much like the actual under for someone like Anfernee Simons here. Now, this is definitely due to the fact that when you look at the matchup more in depth, you not only do Knicks do a fantastic job defensively, but we do know that what Knicks do great at is slowing down the pace of games. They've done this time and time again. They do like to slow down the pace quite a lot. And with the matchup against Celtics, who do like to push the pace quite a lot, we are expecting Knicks to slow down the pace as much as they can and definitely lead to less volume, as less pace means less volume and less opportunity to score, rebound, or even play make. So for that reason, I definitely would keep an eye out for the actual under for this situation here for someone like Anfernee Simons. Now, Simons also doesn't have the highest usage rate in the team as well, so we definitely are expecting that to be a huge issue there. So for that reason, definitely keep an eye out for the under for this one. Now, looking at actually, Anfernee Simons as well over the last 5 games, we do also know that he actually on the 22nd faced off against Brooklyn, had a 113-105 loss, and actually had 23 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds there. Then on the 24th faced off against Orlando, had a 138-129 win with 23 points, 2 assists, 5 rebounds there. Then on the 27th faced off against Detroit, had a 117-114 win with 5 points, 4 assists, 1 rebound. Then on the 30th, faced off against Minnesota, had a 119-115 loss with 5 points, 1 assist, 1 rebound. And then on the 1st, faced off against Cleveland and had 117-115 win with 18 points, 2 assists, and 1 rebound there. So it's definitely been an interesting time for Anfernee Simons. He has had his kind of usage rate fluctuate quite a lot, but coming into this next matchup, we do very, very much like the actual, under for this situation for someone like Simons, whether it's points, rebounds, or assists. So for that reason, definitely keep an eye out for the under for this one.